Hey viewers, in this video I'm going to discuss about lists and some functions of list and methods related to list. In my previous video I have discussed the basic overview of what is list and I had given one example of list. So if you haven't checked that video you can go and see. So you will get the basic overview knowledge of a list, set, tuples and dictionaries. Here I have taken various functions and methods for you to see how the things are happening. Let's start this video. So first I have taken some examples of list to show you that how list can be made and how different types of data types can be stored in a single variable, that is list. So the first list I have created by the variable which is list1. This list1 contain elements that are numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 as its elements. My next list is list2, and list 2 contains the elements in the form of strings. These are apple, banana and cherry. So there are three elements in the form of a string. So list can contain digits or we can say integer data type, and it can also contain a string data type. Now the third list contain both digit, that is integer data type, string data type, float data type and as well as the keyword. So list can contain various data types at a single time. And the last example of list, that is the list 4, contain 1, 2, which is integer data type, 3, 4 in the list. This means it is a nested list. Like the list 4 is containing another list which contains the element 3 and 4. So we can also give the elements in the form of list and as well as dictionary. So I hope you can understand now how we can save or store different type of data types in a single list. Now I am taking the example. This is my first example. Here I have fetched the length of the data. As I have done this also in my previous lectures or my previous videos. So here I have used the function len to find the length of my list. So I have written print length list1. This will give me the number of elements this list contains. So when we will run this code, our output will be 5. This means that this list contains 5 elements. Now the next method is that how can we fetch an element of a list? Like if we want any particular element, then how can we fetch it? So similar to the string, like in the string we are fetching the elements by its indexes. Similarly here in list we will also fetch the elements of list by its indexes. So we will need indexes here also. So you must have to keep your indexing portion strong. So here I have written print list1 and in square brackets 2, which means I want to fetch the element at the index 2 from the list 1. So we have to give the index of the element which we want to fetch in the square brackets, as I have given here 2. So this will give me the output 3, because at the index 2, 3 is the element which lies. Now the next example of fetching element is, here I have fetched the element at the 0 index and I have written print and in parenthesis list 1 0, which means I want to fetch the element which is at the 0 index in the list 1. So this will give me the output 1, as 1 is at the 0 index. Now I am taking another example. Here I have given an index which is not in the list, that is 5, because the last index which this list hold is 4, that is 5 is the last element which is at the fourth index. So when you will give an index which is not in the list, then it will give you an error, that is index error, list index out of range, which means that this list do not contain the index which we have mentioned in the code. So len is the common function which we can use for different data types like list, string and many more. Fetching an element was a method which we have discussed. Now coming to our main functions of list, which can be used to perform different tasks on list, like adding an element, removing an element, etc. So the first function which we have to discuss is append. Append is a function which is used to add an element in the end of the list, and the element which we want to add in the list uh, should be given in the parenthesis of the function. Here I have taken the example list 1, which contain the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now my fourth line is saying list 1 dot append and in parenthesis 6, which means I want to add 6 as an element in the end of my list. So when I will run this code, then 6 will be added to the end of my list. And I will run this code, so this will not give me anything in my output, but the thing which we want will happen. So if you want to see your list that is the code worked or not, so you have to print your list. But if you will write print list one dot append, then it will give you none as the output, because append uh, the work of append is to add an element, but it will not return anything to us. So the output will be none because it had not returned us anything. So when you want to see your list, then you have to write print list one in your code. So now if you will run your code, then your list will come and you can see that the append had done its work and 6 is now in the last of your list. So this is how append works. Now the next function which we have to discuss is extend. This is similar to append function, as append works to add elements in the end of the list. Extend also works to add elements in the end of the list. But the only difference between append and extend is append add one element at a time, but we can add multiple elements at one time by using the extend function. So here I have taken the example. Uh, my list is same as the previous example, and the code I have written in the fourth line is list one dot extend, and in parenthesis I have given a list which contains 6, 7, 8 as the element. So we give the parameter in the extend function in a list because we want to add multiple elements. So you have to write all the elements you want to add in your list in a in another list, and you have to give that new list in the parenthesis of the extend function. And when you will print your list by writing print list 1, then it will give you a list of elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It will add 6, 7, 8 these elements separately in your old list. It will not create a nested list, but it will add all the elements you want to add separately in the old one. So this is how you can add multiple elements in your list by using the extend function. Now the next function I am going to discuss is insert function. Insert function also used to add elements, but it works a little differently. The append function and extend function is used to add the elements at the end of the list. But if you want to add any element at a particular index, like you have a list, but you want to add a new element at the fourth index or fifth index or whatever you want according to your need, so you can use insert function. Insert function will help you to add a new element at any index which you want. So here I have changed my list in this example, and now my list contain elements 5, 2, 9, 1, 5, 6. Then in the fourth line I have written list 1 dot insert 0, comma 10. So the insert function take two parameters in its parenthesis, or I can say two values in its parenthesis. The first value is the index at which we want to add the new element, and the next value is the element which we want to add. So this lines means that I want to add 10 at the 0 index, that is in the starting of the list. So when I will print my list by writing print list 1, then it will give me a list which will contain 10 at its beginning and the rest of the list will be same. This is how insert works. Now I will take another example of insert function. Here I have written list 1 dot insert 3 comma 4. Now this will add element 4, that is 4 is my element and 3 is the index at which I want to add 4 as my element. So when I will print my list, then it will give me a new list which have 4 as its element at the index 3, you can see. So these are the functions which we use to add elements in the list, that is append, extend and insert. Now uh, what function we can use if we want to sort our list, that is if we want to make our list in ascending or descending order. So here is the next function I'm going to discuss, sort function. Sort functions by default arrange our list in ascending order. So the first example I'm taking is list 1, and this list contains 52819 as its elements, and the code I have written list 1 dot short. This will arrange list 1 in ascending order. So when I will print my list 1, this will give me the list which is now arranged in ascending. We can also perform all these functions in the list which contain its element in string data types. You can code your own examples and check. Now I am taking another example of the string data types element also. So this is my new list which contains strawberry, banana, apple, grape, orange as its element. Now I'm going to sort this list. So how the sort function will arrange these elements in ascending order. So this sort function will arrange these elements in ascending order by using the alphabetical order. Like first, the string with A, its starting letter, will be at the first position, and then B, C. Similarly, it will set the elements according to the alphabetical order. So when I will print my list 1, then it will give me a list which will be sorted according to the alphabetical order by using the sort function. Now we can use the sort function in one more way. Like if we will write reverse is equals to true in the parenthesis of the sort function, then it will arrange the elements of our list in descending order. So if you want to arrange your elements of the list in ascending order, then you have to simply write sort function, and if you want to arrange them in descending order, then you have to write sort and in parenthesis reverse is equals to true. So here I have taken the example same as my previous one, and the first thing I want to show you that append also work with the list which contain elements in the string data type. So I have append kiwi as my new element in my list 1. So when I will print list 1, it will give me the list which will have kiwi as its last element. And now I am arranging this list in descending order by using sort reverse is equals to true. The last line is saying print list 1, which means this will print me the list 1 after arranging the elements in the descending order. So here is our output. The first list is showing the work of append function as kiwi in the last of the list, and the second list is the list after arranging the elements in the descending order. And if you will write reverse is equals to false in your parenthesis, that is in the parenthesis of sort, then it will work same as the sort function. That is, it will arrange the elements in the ascending order of the list. So sort and sort reverse is equals to false is the same thing, and sort reverse is equals to true will arrange the elements in descending. Now our next function is reverse function. It simply reverse our list which we have given. So I have taken the example list 1, and these are my elements, and I have written list 1 dot reverse. So it will normally reverse my list and give me a new list which will contain the elements in the reversed form. So it will give me the list which will contain elements like 6, 5, 1, 9, 2, 5, like in the reverse order. So when I will run this code, here is my new list. Now if you want to remove an element from your list, then you can use the function pop. So the first example I am taking here, I have taken the list which contain elements 10, 5, 2, 1, 5, 6, and here I have written print list 1 dot pop. So if you will not give any value inside the parenthesis of the pop function, then it will by default remove the last element of the list. And you can also give a value in the parenthesis, but first I will take the example of the pop function without any parameter. So this will remove 6 from my list, that is the last element. So when I will run my code, then this will be our output as expected. So it had removed 6 from the list. Now if I will give an index in the parenthesis of the pop function, then it will remove the element at the index which is given in the parenthesis. So here I have written 3 in the parenthesis of pop function. So this will remove the element which is at the third index. And in my list, if I will count, so 9 is coming at the third index. So when I will run this code, then this will remove 9 from my list. So here is our output, and now 9 is not in the list 1. So pop can also remove the elements at any particular index, and if you want to remove the elements from any particular index, then you have to give that index in the parameter as the parameter in the parenthesis of the pop function. And if you will not give anything, then it will by default remove the last element of the list. Now in the pop function, we are giving indexes in the parenthesis, and it was also not necessary to give any index. But now moving ahead to the next function, that is remove. Remove also works to remove any element from the list. And here we have to give uh, value in the parenthesis of the remove function. Like it is mandatory to give any value in the parenthesis. And here in the parenthesis, we don't give the index. We give directly the element which we want to remove. So in this example, I have taken list 1 is equals to 10, 5, 2, 1, 5. These are the elements. And the fourth line is saying list 1 dot remove and in parenthesis 5. So here I have given 5 as the element, which means I want to remove the element 5 from my list. And if there are two same elements in your list and you want to remove one of them, so if you will give um, that element in the parenthesis, like here I have given 5 and there are two 5 in my list, so it will remove the 5 which is occurring first. So it will remove 5 which is at the first index, not the last one, because the 5 which is at the first index is occurring first. So when I will run my code, then it will give me the list 1 which is containing 10 to 1 5. So here the 5 is removed. The 5 has been removed from the list. Now the last function of list is clear. So clear removes every single element from the list. When I will write list1 dot clear and when I will print my list 1, then it will give me an empty list because clear removes every element from the list. So for adding an element, we have discussed append, extend, and insert. And for removing elements, we have discussed pop, remove, and clear function. And for arranging, we have discussed sort function, which can be used in two ways, like sort in the normal form, and when we will give reverse is equals to true in its parenthesis. This is all we have discussed in this video, and I have covered all the functions of list. These are the major functions, and there are some more functions, but mainly we use only these functions. So yes, thank you for watching and follow for more.